welcome. Snowing again. Hey, I hope you all had a great Christmas and I wish you all a very happy new year. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm just here in the studio. We've got the fire alight. We've got about 65 degrees in here, so it's a workable temperature. Let's bring the camera in just a little closer and I'll just show you just some of the things that I've been up to since we last met. So let's see. Yeah, I'll bring it in a bit close here. Yeah, I've got a pot there. I'm just about to take off the wheel, but before I do that, I just thought I'd show you some other little guys that I've been up to here, just for your interest. So I don't want to get too close because I've had some focusing issues, haven't I? Getting too close and okay, there. Yeah, I was had this postcard here of a pot by Shoji Hamada, and I was just looking at it and thinking, well, I'll have a go at trying to make something like that, at least as a starting point. And it's never a bad idea to try to copy something that you like or admire or respect. Just have a go at trying to copy it, because you learn a lot in the process. It's not that I'm wanting to do an exact copy of that, but I'll try and we'll see how far we get. Anyway, the first one I did was this. Well, you can see a similarity, can't you? But you'll see, in actual fact, this one here of Shoji's is a little bit bowed in the side, whereas mine is rather too straight. And then as I progressed, I thought to myself, I actually wasn't sure about his foot, and I thought that I would actually just try to do a foot here like the top. I kid people, you see, that it's because of my engineering background, because I did an apprenticeship in engineering at Westland Helicopters, so I've got nuts and bolts on my mind, you see. Where's the wrench? No. So that I've had these here by the wheel, and of course I've been throwing, so I've splashed them. Anyway, that's that one. And then as you do, you know, one thing leads to another, and you digress, don't you? This one then came along, and all these are just thrown as cylinders with very thick walls, okay? And you then facet them and I use one of these guys to facet, and you've seen me do that. I've showed you that before, haven't I, in other clips. So it's a useful little tool. And then I did another one here, taller, and just with the 4 facets, leaving the sides here just slightly rounded, just the cylinder, you know. So just thought I'd show you those. What I'm actually doing at the moment is just been doing some rounder pots here of different shapes. Kind of loosely based on what we did the other day, that type, which is thrown with a rather pointed belly here, which is then paddled when it's leather hard with the paddle. So that's what I'm doing. And I've just done one, and I'm just about to take it off the wheel. So in actual fact, I've I've cut a little piece of, just a little piece of plastic, and that, after I've finished, when I finished throwing it, and what you can do, you can use one of these just to make it a little stiffer, a little drier. But you can also use something like this. You just put it over the top like that, you see. And then you can take your cut-off wire, cut him through, and I can lift him now with some degree of confidence. These are actually going to be, they're going to be trimmed, of course, because they have trimmed feet. So like that guy, you see, just trimming out the base. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw one. I'm just going to drop this down a bit, just so you get a bit more of a sideways angle on things. Okay, let's go. This is 2 pounds of clay. I've got some warm water here. Got my mirror over there. So we're going to bring this clay up in the usual way, and then center it down. Always a good idea to do that to start with. Kind of brings the clay into submission, doesn't it? Which is where you want it. You don't want rebellious clay, do you? Okay, so I'm breaking in, I'm going down, establishing the depth through the base. Alright, and now I am opening out and just pushing against the side of my hand, you see, and bringing my hand up with the clay. Compressing down a bit on the top area here. It's important to keep your clay a little bit compressed, you know. And to compress, you can wrap a finger around it like that, you see, and give it a bit of downward pressure, but you're not letting it escape, you see. Going in with my hand on the outside here, pushing in now, narrowing the foot, pulling now, and pulling up but out as well. And now I'm coming gradually upwards and inwards. Don't have your wheel going too fast. The thing is about a narrow necked form like we're making, you've got to allow some clay for that, so you want to think a little bit ahead, you know. So I'm pulling again, and now I'm coming up and I'm coming in. And you have to do this sort of by stages, okay. Okay, now I can grab some clay up here, constrict it, you see, collar it, either like that or just like this. So how's it looking? Now these have got rather a pointed belly. So
accentuating the belly, and now coming over the top shoulder here, narrowing. Now underneath the belly here, down underneath, make it convex. Okay, don't make it concave like that. So if you make it concave, it'll go down, it'll flop on you, you see. So you want to keep the bottom section slightly convex. That is because the bottom section is going to support the top section, isn't it? Checking for water, sponging out. I'm now, for the moment, I'm happy with the bottom section. So I'm going to close in now the top more. And closing in is a gradual process. And as you close in, the clay thickens. So as it thickens, you have to correspondingly raise it, pull it up a bit, you see? See what I'm doing? I'm pulling it up. So I pulled it up. Okay, now I'm going to constrict it again. Bringing the clay in, narrowing it through that method of now. If you think that your belly here is a little bit low and you want to lift it up, okay, you can get underneath it like this and just gently give it a little lift, you see. Alright. So far so good. Nice slow wheel speed, not too fast. Now I'm trying to sort of reflect the bottom and the top, you see. Alright, as you can see here, it's a little bit ribby, isn't it? So I'm going to use my throwing stick and I'm just going to gently smooth that, remove some of the slurry. Okay, what it's telling me is I want to go down on the top here. I'm going to give it more neck, so I'm going to take my finger like that, you see, pushing in, my finger on the inside, bringing the clay, you see, effectively lowering the body, but giving it a longer neck. Now when you constrict, you know, and the clay thickens, doesn't it? And if it does that, it can have a tendency to start going up and down. This one's actually not too bad at the moment. It's not looking too bad. So I decide now on the width of the actual neck. Alright? Because what I'm going to do now with the neck, with the top here, I'm going to pull it down, you see, gradually. Bend it over, you see, like this. You know, clay, you've got to work it gently, you know, it doesn't just go from A to Z in 1 second, it may need 5 seconds. Now, many things one can do with the top of a pot like this. And it's very easy to get distracted and sort of go off on a tangent, away from what you originally intended. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this down quite a lot. If you watch, See that? So we brought it up, in, up, out, and now folding it right over. This is where it's a little bit similar to rolling a rim, isn't it? But we're not rolling a rim, but you know what I'm talking about. Well, I'm trying to find some sort of feeling in the pot between the top of the pot and the body of the pot. I want to try to relate them, you see. They're all part of the same family, you see. Alright, so we've pretty much done the top of the pot. I'm just going to give it with my stick underneath, just a very gentle token sticking, because it's not necessary at this point to make it very narrow in the foot, because it's going to be trimmed anyway. So this is one of those pots that you can trim, you see. Haha. I know I'm always going on about not trimming unnecessarily. Well, you know, there's a place to trim a pot, and there are places, or times I should say, when you don't really need to trim. But this is one of the times when you should. So I'm going to get off the wheel now. So sometimes when you make a pot, before you cut it off, just get off the wheel and have a look at it. It's sort of from the side a little bit, you see. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do, I'm going to get my gun here. Alright, that'll do for now. Let's just pull the camera back a touch. Better find a place to put him there on the board. Borrow this guy. Like that. Dry hands. We're going to get underneath it. Lift him, put him there. Okay folks, that's it. Yeah, I've got an exhibition in New York coming up next March, so I've got to make some individual pots. And that means being a bit creative and
not just making repeat items, repeat pots, but trying to make pots that perhaps are a little bit more individual, maybe a little bit more thought out. And so over the next couple of months, I've got to get about 100, 120 pots together for this exhibition. So I hope you'll join me for that, and we can maybe talk about what it means to have an exhibition and getting a good body of work together for that. I wish you all a very happy new year, and please keep practicing. Bye bye.